Okay, so first, we will discuss what do you mean by alcohol, what is phenol, and what are ethers. Okay, so what is alcohol? So alcohol is the hydrogen. See, what is alcohol? So alcohol, when you see the aliphatic hydrocarbon, and when you substitute, when you replace one hydrogen in the aliphatic hydrocarbon is replaced by a hydroxyl group, OH group. Okay, then we call it as a alcohol. And now, what is aliphatic? What is aliphatic hydrocarbon? Can anyone tell me? What is the difference between aliphatic and aromatic? Anyone?
Aromatic has benzene attached to it.
Okay. And what is aliphatic? You are in 12th grade. You should know what is aliphatic and what is aromatic. Aliphatic is very simple. Aliphatic means you will see only single bond you will see in that structure. That hydrocarbon, that type of hydrocarbon which has only a single bond. Okay, only a sigma electron. Only a sigma electron. So this type of hydrocarbon is known as aliphatic hydrocarbon, right? And aliphatic hydrocarbon are of three types. Linear, right? Linear, when only you will see the straight chain. Okay, a straight like chain. So this is your linear. Okay, this is your linear aliphatic hydrocarbon. Okay, second type is your branch aliphatic hydrocarbon. Okay, if you will see some some substitution over there, so it is a branched aliphatic system. And yeah, one more type is cyclic system. Okay, this is again a aliphatic ring. This is a aliphatic ring. It is not aromatic. Okay, don't be confused in that. So this is your cyclic aliphatic hydrocarbon. Okay, you can see only single bond is present. Okay, in only single bond is present. If I draw this structure, means conjugated system, alternate double bond, then single bond, then double bond, then single bond, then double bond. So this type of system in which the pi electrons are present, okay, pi electrons are present, this type of system is known as conjugated system. Okay, alternate double and single bond. So this type of system is known as aromatic system. This type of system is aromatic system. Okay, or aromatic ring. Okay, or you can say aromatic hydrocarbon. Got it? Now you know what is the difference between aliphatic and aromatic. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is alcohol? So when you replace, suppose this is an aliphatic hydrocarbon. Okay, suppose this is a aliphatic hydrocarbon. Just take CH3, 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 CH3. Okay, ethane. Okay, it is ethane. So CH3, CH3, what you are supposed to do, just remove one hydrogen. Remove, suppose this is a structure, carbon-carbon double bond. This is a hydrogen, 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 again hydrogen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. What you are supposed to do, just remove one hydrogen, and this one hydrogen is replaced. If this hydrogen is replaced by a hydroxyl group, which is OH group. So this type of hydrocarbon or aliphatic hydrocarbon is known as, this type of a structure is known as alcohols. When you replace one hydrogen from the aliphatic hydrocarbon chain by a hydroxyl group, so you will get an alcohol. Okay, now clear what is alcohol? And general formula of alcohol is ROH. Okay, ROH. Now, what is R? So, R is any alkyl group. R is any alkyl. Okay, whether it could be methyl, ethyl, propyl, anything. Okay, so R is your alkyl group and OH is your hydroxyl. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, what do I mean by phenols? Now, it's very simple. Now, when the hydrogen in aromatic hydrocarbon ring is replaced by a hydroxyl, okay, suppose you just take a benzene, okay, and benzene में से one hydrogen को replace करा देना है by hydroxyl group. Okay, So this is a hydrogen. You know very well, this is a benzene, right? You know, each and every carbon has one hydrogen, right? So when you replace this hydrogen by a hydroxyl group, so this is known as your phenols. This is known as your phenols. Okay, and the general formula for the phenols is this. Okay, aromatic ring, and with the aromatic ring OH group. Okay, and simply aromatic ring is basically हम benzene लेते हैं, तो benzene पे OH group. So that is your phenol. Benzene, OH is attached to the carbon of the benzene ring. So this is your phenol. Third one. Now ethers. What do you mean by ethers? So ethers are again, it's very a simple compound. So hydrogen atom in a hydrocarbon is substituted by alkoxy group. Alkoxy or any aryloxy group. Now, what is alkoxy group and what is aryloxy group? So I will let you know. So see, what is alkoxy group? So suppose we have a hydrocarbon, this CH3, again this. Okay, what we are supposed to do? So you have to remove one hydrogen. Okay, one hydrogen is removed, and you have to substitute one alkoxy group. What is alkoxy group? So any O group, oxygen, and any alkyl group, OR group. Okay, OR group आपको substitute कराना है by replace कराना, hydrogen is replaced by any OR group. Okay, what is OR group? So OR group is known as alkoxy group. It is known as alkoxy group. Okay, so O is your oxygen and R is any alkyl group. So the combination of these two, O and any alkyl group, these two combination is known as alkoxy group. Okay, इन दोनों के साथ में हम क्या कहते हैं? Alkoxy group. Okay, so and what is aryloxy group? So you know very well what is aryl. So aryl is your benzene. Okay, so any O aromatic ring. So this type of, this is your aromatic ring and this is your O. Okay, so this type of, this substituent or group, functional group, it is known as aryloxy group. This is known as aryloxy group. So what is ethers? So ethers, when you in the hydrocarbon chain, whether it's a aliphatic hydrocarbon or any aromatic hydrocarbon. Okay, so when you replace one hydrogen atom by a alkoxy group, so you will get ROR. Okay, and if you replace the hydrogen in a aromatic hydrocarbon chain by a aryl oxy group, okay, which is OAR, okay, this group, so you will get a ROAR. Okay, so these are known as ethers. Okay, these are known as ethers. Any doubt? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now please write it down, then we will see the classification. Okay, so in this chapter, basically we will discuss about the properties of alcohol, phenols, and ethers, its nomenclature, methods of preparation, and important chemical reactions of all these three: alcohol, phenols, and ethers. Written, everyone? Okay. Okay, write down the next topic: classification. Classification based on the number of hydroxyl group. How we can classify the alcohols? Okay, on the basis of the number of your hydroxyl group. Okay, first one, monohydric alcohol. Monohydric. Okay, monohydric means only one hydroxyl group is present. Okay, if one hydroxyl group is present, then we call it as a monohydric type of alcohol. Example, best example is your CH3OH, methanol, ethanol, propanol, anything. Okay, in which only one hydroxyl group is attached to the alkyl group. Okay, next is, and yeah, one more thing. When you talk about the phenol, when you talk about the aromatic system, so only one hydroxyl group is attached to the benzene ring, then it is known as monohydric type of phenol. Monohydric type of phenol. Okay. Next one, dihydric. Dihydric means there are two hydroxyl group which is attached to the your alkyl group. Okay. Suppose we have two carbon chain. This is a 1 and 2 carbon chain, CH2, CH2. Okay. And two hydroxyl group are attached. This OH group is attached to this carbon. Suppose this is your first carbon, this is second carbon. So OH group is attached to the first carbon as well and the second carbon as well, right? So this type of arrangement, if you see this type of arrangement in which two hydroxyl group is attached to the carbon ring, carbon chain, okay, so you can say that this is a dihydric type of molecule, dihydric alcohol or dihydric phenol, okay. And because it is alcohol, we are talking about the alcohol, so this is known as diols. Diols, ओल किसके लिए हम use करते हैं? We just use it for the alcohol. Okay, diols means two alcohols, two hydroxyl group is attached to the carbon. Okay, and the common name of this structure, this is your CH2 and CH2. This is your OH group, OH group. Okay, OH group is attached to the you can say adjacent carbon position, adjacent carbon position. So this is known as, its common name is ethylene glycol. What's the common name of this? Ethylene glycol, or simply we call it as a glycol. We call it as a glycol. Okay, CH2, CH2. This is your ethene. Okay, and this is your ethyl basically you can say, and OH group, OH group, two OH group. So it's a dihydric type of alcohol. It is also known as diols. Diols. Okay, and the common name of this structure is ethylene glycol. Ethylene glycol, simply glycol. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now see, in the aromatic system, if two hydroxyl group is attached, so this is a phenol. Okay, this is a phenol, and corresponding to this phenol, what is the position called? This position is a ortho position. This is a meta. This is a para. Again, this is a meta, ortho, and this is a para. Okay. So when the other hydroxyl group, okay, means you can say when the hydroxyl group are adjacent to each other. Okay, if one hydroxyl group is on the first position and second hydroxyl group on the second position. Okay, or second hydroxyl group is attached at the ortho position. Okay, so we called this a structure because this is again in this category, which is dihydric. This is dihydric type of phenol, but commonly we called it as a catechol. We called it as a catechol. Okay, what's the name of this structure? So this structure name is OH. On the first position, OH is attached, and on the second carbon also. Okay, if the OH group, hydroxyl group is attached to the adjacent carbon, then we called it as a catechol. Okay, catechol, or its IUPAC name is benzene. Okay, this is a benzene. And on which position the hydroxyl group is attached? 1 and 2. Okay, so benzene 1,2 diol. That's the IUPAC name. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Second one, if this is the ortho position, right? Now the other hydroxyl group is attached to the meta position. Okay, one is on the first position and one is on the third position, which is meta position. So this molecule is known as resorcinol. Okay, just remember the name of this. This is important. Resorcinol. Okay, 1,3 benzene 1,3 diol is known as resorcinol, but benzene 1,2 diol is known as catechol. Okay, now what about the benzene 1,4 diol? This is the first position. Okay, second, third, and fourth. Okay, so one of four पे अगर present है hydroxyl group, so we call it as a hydroquinone. Hydroquinone or simply quinone. Quinone और hydroquinone. और IUPAC नेम क्या हो जाएगा इसका? बेंजीन 1,4 डाई. Benzene 1,4 diol. Okay, so all these examples are included in the dihydric system, which is diol. Diols, when the 2 hydroxyl group is attached on the benzene ring or any aliphatic system. Clear? Just remember these names. This is important. Okay, when the hydroxyl group is attached ortho position, it is known as catechol. If it is on the meta position, it is known as resorcinol. And if it is on para, this is a para position. Okay, this आपने क्या करना? This is a phenol. You have to fix one hydroxyl group and corresponding you will talk about this. So this is corresponding to this. This is ortho. This is meta. This is right. So this is this 1,4 benzene. Benzene 1,4 diol is known as hydroquinone or simply quinol. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Next is third classification is trihydric. Trihydric. What is trihydric means? Tri means three, right? And hydric means three hydroxyl group. Okay, means when the three hydroxyl group is present in the aliphatic chain or in the aromatic system, then we call it as a trihydric type of molecule. Trihydric type of molecule. Okay, and this is also known as triols. Okay, triols because three hydroxyl group is attached. So hydroxyl group OH group के लिए हम क्या use करते हैं? We just use the suffix ol. Okay, so there are three hydroxyl groups, so we call it as a triols. Okay, so this is the aliphatic system. Okay, so you can see 1, 2, 3, 3 carbon chain. It is a 3 carbon chain, and all the carbon, their hydroxyl group is attached. Okay, first hydroxyl group. Okay, second hydroxyl group, third hydroxyl. Okay, when you see this structure, when there's a 3 carbon chain and to all the carbon chain, one hydroxyl group is attached. So this compound is known as glycerol. Okay, what we call it as? We call it as a glycerol. Glycerol. Okay, it's a glycerol. Okay, and it is also known as triols. Triols means 3OH group. 3OH group. Okay, so this is all about the aliphatic system. But what about the aromatic? So if in the aromatic system, see, if in the aromatic system, 3 hydroxyl group is attached. Okay, first, you can see this is OH group, first, second, and third. Okay, 3 hydroxyl group is attached. So this is known as trihydric type of molecule. Okay. And what is the common name? So its common name is pyrogalol. What's the common name of this? When you in the benzene ring, on the benzene ring, 3 hydroxyl group is attached. First, second, and third. Okay. So, and which is adjacent to each other. Which is adjacent to each other. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Adjacent position पे होना चाहिए all the hydroxyl group. Then we call it as a pyrogalol. Pyrogalol. And what is the IUPAC nomenclature of this? So it's a benzene 1, 2, 3 triol. Benzene 1, 2, 3 triols. Got my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now you can write it down. If already written, then tell me. I will move forward.
Done, ma'am.
Done? Okay. Okay, next topic is monohydric classification. Okay, now monohydric type of molecules are classified further on the basis of hybridization of carbon. Okay, only monohydric के हम classification देखेंगे, right? And these classification are based on the hybridization of the carbon. Okay, this carbon to which the hydroxyl group is directly attached. Okay, so suppose this is your any alcohol. Suppose this is your CH3, CH2, OH. Okay, so OH is attached to this carbon, right? So we will check the classification hybridization of this carbon, and accordingly there are different types of monohydric alcohols or phenols. Okay, so monohydric classification, first classification is based on the hybridization of carbon. Okay, in this there are two types. Okay, again the sub classification is there. So compound which contains the sp3 hybridized carbon. When the hydroxyl group is directly attached to sp3 hybridized carbon, this type of bond you will see. So in these the hydroxyl group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon atom of alkyl group. Okay, so further they are classified. See, so we call it as a, these can be classified further as primary, secondary, and tertiary. This can be primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohol. Okay, similarly, जैसे हमने किया था haloalkenes and haloarenes में, the monohydric classification, so it is same, it is just similar to that. Okay, so compound which contains this type of hybridization when the hydroxyl group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon. And how you will check the hybridization? So just remember, if between the carbon and carbon there is a single bond, so its hybridization is sp3. The carbon hybridization is sp3. Okay, and the hybridization uh, we only determine the hybridization of only the central atom, not the surrounding atom. Just like a hydrogen, fluorine, we can't determine that hybridization. We just determine the central atom hybridization. Okay, so if between the carbon and carbon there is a single bond, so the hybridization of each and every carbon is sp3. If between the carbon and carbon there is a double bond, what's the hybridization? What is the hybridization? Jupiter, tell me. If between the carbon and carbon there is a double bond, so what is the hybridization of this carbon? I have discussed this in the previous chapter, haloalkanes and haloarenes. So the hybridization is sp2. If yeah,
I said sp2.
yeah, sp2. And between the carbon and carbon there is a triple bond, what will be the hybridization? Yes, Jupiter, I'm asking you.
sp1.
Only SP. Tell me SP, not SP1. Okay, it's SP. Okay, so just remember this. Okay, so these can be classified. These can be classified further as primary alcohol, secondary alcohol, and tertiary alcohol. Now, what is primary, secondary, and tertiary? So, if the hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, okay, this carbon, okay, and this carbon is further attached to only one group. So, it is known as primary alcohol. Secondary alcohol. So, this hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, okay, and you have to check for this carbon. This carbon से आपकी कितने groups attached? So you can see there are two bonds and two groups are attached to this carbon, this R group and again the R group. So this type of arrangement, this type of alcohol in which the carbon is attached to two groups, two different groups or same groups bhi ho sakta hai, then it is known as secondary alcohol. Okay. Third one, if the hydroxyl, see the hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, जिससे attach होगा उसी carbon का आपने देखना है. Okay, so this carbon has three groups, okay, attached to it. So it's a tertiary alcohol. Okay, so and you can see the hybridization of this carbon is sp3. What's the hybridization? It's sp3 because there is a single bond. Okay, there is a single bond between this carbon and the alkyl, the carbon of this alkyl. Okay, so single bond if present, so the hybridization is sp. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, next one, allylic alcohol. Next one is allylic alcohol. Now, what is allylic alcohol? So, when the hydroxyl group is attached, first, first it is attached to the sp3 hybridized carbon, but this sp3 hybridized carbon is further attached to sp2 hybridized carbon. You can see there is a carbon and carbon double bond. Okay, so each carbon's hybridization is sp2. Okay, so this sp3 hybridized carbon is attached to sp2 hybridized carbon. So this type of system, this type of alcohol is known as allylic alcohol. This type of alcohol is known as allylic alcohol. Okay, so in this, just write down, in this hydroxyl group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon, which is adjacent to the carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, carbon-carbon double bond means sp2 hybridized carbon. sp2 hybridized carbon. Examples you can write down. See this example. Okay, CH2, CH, CH2OH. Okay, so in this you can see this O hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon. This carbon is sp3 hybridized. And this sp3 hybridized carbon is further attached to this carbon-carbon double bond, which is sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, so this is known as allylic alcohol. Okay, and which type of allylic alcohol it is? Primary, secondary, or tertiary? So similarly, we will decide that. Okay, so hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, right? And this carbon is attached to how many groups? How many groups? Only one group, which is CH, right? So it is a primary allylic alcohol. Okay, similarly, second one. Second one is again the allylic alcohol, hydroxyl group attached to sp3, right? And further it is attached to sp2, right? Now, this you can see if you have to check the degree, okay, degree whether it's a secondary, primary or tertiary. So just check this hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, and this carbon is attached to how many groups? Okay, how many bond it has? This R group and this CH group. So it is known as secondary allylic alcohol. Okay, similarly, a third one, which is tertiary allylic alcohol. Clear this point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, quickly write it down. Okay, the next one, benzylic alcohol. Benzylic alcohol. So it is just similar to the benzylic halide. Okay. So benzylic halide में क्या होता था? The hydroxyl, the halogen group A was attached to the sp3 hybridized carbon first. Then that sp3 hybridized carbon was attached to the benzene ring. Okay, so similar यहाँ पे भी same होगा, but हाइड्राइड की जगह पे यहाँ पे अल्कोहल, right? Halogen की जगह पे यहाँ पे क्या है? Hydroxyl group. So it is very similar to that. So in this, hydroxyl group is attached further to sp3 hybridized carbon. This OH group is attached to this carbon, which is sp3, right? And this sp3 hybridized carbon is attached to the benzene ring. So this type of alcohol is known as benzylic alcohol. Benzylic alcohol. Okay. And this carbon is known as benzylic carbon. This carbon is known as benzylic carbon. Similarly, in the previous case, this carbon, this carbon to which the hydroxyl group is attached, this carbon is known as allylic carbon. Okay. Okay, write down the example of benzylic alcohol. So it's benzene ring. Okay. To that CH2OH group is attached. Okay. So which type of benzylic alcohol it is? So it is a primary benzylic alcohol. Why it is primary? Because OH group is attached to this carbon, and this carbon is attached to only one carbon, this one group you can say, or one atom, which is this CH, which is CH group, right? So this is a primary benzylic alcohol. Okay, similarly this one. So this hydroxyl group is there. It is attached to this carbon, right? And this carbon is attached to how many groups? So here it is R group, and here benzene ring C attached, right? Two groups attached to this carbon, so it is known as secondary benzylic alcohol. Benzylic alcohol. Third one. So this hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, and this carbon is further attached to how many groups? One group, two group, and this three groups, right? So this is known as tertiary benzylic alcohol. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, write it down. All these three are categorized in the uh, category where the hydroxyl group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon. Now we will see the compound which contains sp2 hybridized carbon. We see the next one, vinylic alcohol. Okay, it is a second category where the compound which contains this type of bond, OH, where OH is attached to sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, when the hydroxyl group is directly attached to sp2 hybridized carbon, is carbon-carbon double bond. Okay, so first type is vinylic alcohol. First is your vinylic alcohol. So what is vinylic alcohol? So when the hydroxyl group is attached to the carbon, which is sp2 hybridized. Okay, directly to the carbon, which is sp2 hybridized carbon, and this carbon is known as vinylic. This carbon is known as vinylic carbon. Okay, so please write it down. In this type of alcohols, hydroxyl group is attached to double bonded carbon atom. Double bonded means sp2 hybridized carbon. Examples में you can write this example CH2 CHOH. Okay, so the next one, arylic alcohol. Okay, so what is arylic alcohol? Arylic alcohol, if you want to write down the definition, so you can. So arylic alcohol are those alcohol in which OH group is directly attached to benzene ring. Directly attached to benzene ring, aromatic ring. Okay, so this type of alcohol is known as arylic alcohol. And you know very well what is benzene ring. So this is a phenol, right? This is a phenol, and OH group is attached to this carbon, and this carbon hybridization is sp2. Okay, it's sp2 hybridized carbon. Now, if you attach the CH3 methyl group on the second position, this is the first position, this is the second position. Okay, so this, what is the name of this compound? So this is a orthocresol. Orthocresol. Okay, if you attach the CH3 group, methyl group on the ortho position. Okay, on the ortho position, so it is known as orthocresol. Orthocresol. Similarly, if I draw this, now tell me what will be the name of this? Yes. Yes, Muniva, tell me the name of this compound.
Metacresol.
Yes, good. It's metacresol. And what about this?
Paracresol.
Yeah, this is your paracresol. Okay, so based on the position, you can give the name of this. And this is a common name. This is a common name, not the IUPAC name. Okay. Now coming to the ethers. Ethers. Okay. So what are ethers? We have discussed already, right? Ethers are basically ROR group. ROR group. Or sometimes if you write just a second. Okay, ethers could be your ROR group. Okay, so you can say this is a ROR group, means this is symmetrical type of ether where both the R group is same. But you can, this is also ether where the R group is different. So this is an unsymmetrical type of ether or mixed ether. Okay, and you can also write this is again a mixed ether when there is a aliphatic chain over here. Okay, on the left side or any right side we have लिख सकते हो, and on the one side of this linkage there is a aromatic ring. There is a aromatic ring. So this is again, these two types are mixed or unsymmetrical type of ethers. And this first one is your symmetrical type of ether, which is also known as simple ether. Okay, simple ether. Why? Because you know what is this? Ether means this is a linkage. This linkage is ether linkage. Okay, and on the left and right side there will be alkyl group or any aryl group. Okay, it could be any alkyl or aryl. So accordingly, you will give the name. Okay, so basically there are two types of ethers. First one, simple ether, and the second one, which is known as mixed ether. Okay, so why it is known as simple ether? Because this is a symmetric ether. Okay, आप यहाँ पे symmetrical देखोगे because between the this is a see, this is your ether linkage, right? And on the left and right side, the groups are same. Suppose we have a CH3 group, so here be इस साइड में CH3 ग्रुप होगा. So this type of ether is known as symmetrical type of ether or simple ether. Okay, where you will see the same group, alkyl group or aryl group. Okay, so general formula could be ROR. Okay, where both are the aliphatic group, okay, alkyl group, and this AR, aromatic aryl group. Okay, when on both side, यहाँ पे आपका क्या है aryl group. Okay, so you can see it is a symmetrical type of ethers. Why? Because the R group is same on both the sides. Okay, R group is same, and here the aryl group is same. Okay, so examples. Let's see the examples. How we can give the name, write the name for these type of ethers. First one, symmetrical type. Okay, let's see the example CH3O, CH3. This is the ether linkage. Okay, and on the left side and the right side, both are methyl group. Okay, both methyl group is attached on the right side and both side of this linkage. Now, what you are supposed to do? So this ether, okay, this ether, आपको, this is the O. Basically, what is this? This is the ether, right? So you will write ether. You will write ether, and combinedly, you will write for both. What is this? This is a methyl. And how many methyl groups are attached on the left and right side of the ether linkage? So two methyl groups. So you will name it as a dimethyl ether. What's the name? So the name is dimethyl ether. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will discuss it in details when we do the nomenclature. Okay, individually जब हम nomenclature करेंगे alcohols, phenols and ether का, so we will discuss it in details. Okay, so this is basically a common name. Okay, this is a common name, not the IUPAC name. IUPAC name हम दूसरी तरह से देते हैं. We will discuss it. Okay, now second one, this C2H5, and this is the ether linkage, and this is again a C2H5. So what we call it as ether, right? And what is this? This is a ethyl, and two ethyl is present. So diethyl ether, diethyl ether. Clear? This is for the symmetrical type of ether. Now come to the mixed type of ether. When there the both groups on the left and right side are different, then how we can give the name? Okay, so mixed type of ether means ROR dash. R dash means this is, suppose if it is CH3 over here, so यहाँ पे कोई और group होगा other than CH3. Okay, suppose this is C2H5. Okay, C2H5. So how we can name it? So common name will be, you will write ether for this linkage के लिए आप ether लिखोगे, and you will start the naming from the small carbon chain. Okay, this is the only one carbon group, right? And here the two carbon is present. This is your ethyl and this is your methyl. So first you will write down the methyl, then ethyl, methyl, ethyl, ether individually. Okay, this is the common name. But how you will write down the IUPAC name? IUPAC name कैसे लिखोगे आप? So this is your ethane. So this is your methoxy group. Okay, so RO, R dash. Okay, जो smallest कार्बन होगा उसके साथ आपने इस ऑक्सीजन लिंकेज को उसके साथ कंबाइन कर देना है. Okay, and combinedly they are known as alkoxy. Okay, combinedly they are known as this RO group is known as alkoxy group, alkyl plus oxy group, right? So इसे combinedly हम क्या कहेंगे? Alkoxy group. And here what is this? This CH3 C2H5 over here, and the oxygen linkage is in between. Okay, so how to write down the name in IUPAC according to the IUPAC nomenclature? So this is a ethyl group, right? So जो ज़्यादा number of carbon होगा, the more number of carbon you will take individually as a ethane group. Okay, you will take as a parent chain. You will take it as a parent chain, right? As a ethane, and you will take this CH3 and O group as a substituent. Okay, as a substituent, and you will write methoxy. Methoxy. आप इसे combine कर दोगे CH3 group को this ether linkage के साथ, and combinedly they are known as alkoxy group. So here you will write this is methyl and oxygen, so it is methoxy ethane. Okay, So जो ज़्यादा larger number of carbon, more the number of carbon, you will treat it as a parent chain. Okay, you will treat it as a parent chain, and this is a substituent. Okay, you will treat this CH3O other group other than this C2H5 as a substituent. Okay, and you will write the substituent, you know very well. आप पहले लिखते हैं, and the parent name will be written after the substituent name. So it's a methoxyethane. Clear, everyone? Any doubt?
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Similarly, second example. See, oh, just a second. Where's my pen? Just a second. Pen. Okay. See the second one. So this is your benzene ring. Okay, as I told you, the ether can be like this because this is a mixed type of ether, right? So here you can see which type of arrangement. This is aromatic ring. Here the oxygen linkage, ether linkage, and here the R group. Okay, so this mixed type of unsymmetric type of ether it is. Okay, so now how to name this? So common name of this is anisole. If there is a benzene ring, just remember this. If there is a benzene ring and benzene ring के कार्बन से ये आपका OCH3 group attached. If OCH3 methoxy group is attached to the benzene ring, then we call it as an anisole. Okay, anisole or methyl phenyl ether. Okay, what we call it as a, this is a methyl. Similarly जैसे हमने किया था ROR का, first हमने इसका name लिखा था, after that we just write on the name of this. Okay, this substituent, left substituent, right substituent, and this ether. Okay, oxygen linkage means ether. So similarly आप क्या name लिखोगे? This is a methyl. First you will write down the smallest carbon chain. Okay, smallest जो छोटा है उसको पहले लिखोगे, after the elder one. First elder, right? First आप younger कर दोगे. Okay, so suppose younger is a only one carbon, and this is a bulky group. Benzene is a bulky group, right? So you will write on the name. This is a methyl, and what is this? इसे हम क्या कहते हैं? Phenyl ring. Okay, this is a phenyl. So methyl, phenyl, and after that ether. Okay, and we commonly call it as an anisole. Commonly we call it as an anisole. Okay, so that's that about the common name. But what about the IUPAC name, right? IUPAC name कैसे हम करते हैं? Naming कैसे करते हैं? So this is your benzene, right? This is your ether linkage, and this is your CH3 group, right? So which group you will take as a parent chain? Which group? Because there are two groups like CH3 and your benzene group. Yes, tell me. Yes, Anisa, tell me which group you will take as a parent chain, benzene or methyl group. Anisa is there in the class? Please unmute yourself and please tell me, Anisa.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I just asked you, this is your anisole, right? This is aromatic ring, this is your ether linkage, and this is your CH3. Okay, you know very well, if you write down the IUPAC name, right? So you have to assign a parent chain. Parent chain. Okay. So in which these are the two groups. This is benzene group and this is a methyl group. So which group you will take as a parent? Yes, I told you the parent chain किसे हम लेंगे? Which has a more number of carbons.
So the anisole will be the parent chain.
Anisole is the whole molecule बच्चे. Anisole हम whole molecule को बोलते हैं. ये पूरे whole compound को, this is known as anisole. When on the benzene ring, Methoxy group is attached. OCH3 group. Okay, I'm asking if I write down the IUPAC name, so which one you will take as a parent chain? This benzene group, this phenyl ring, or this methyl group? These two. In between these two, आप किसे लोगे as a parent?
Benzene ring.
Yeah, very simple. Because it has more number of carbon. It is a bulkier than the CH3, right? So you will take this benzene as a parent. Okay. So what will be the name? So parent का last में name लिखते हो, right? And what is this? You will combine these two OCH3, which is methoxy group. So what is the name of this? Methoxybenzene. Methoxybenzene. It's the IUPAC name. Okay, and the common name is methyl phenyl ether. Methyl phenyl and ether. Okay, and commonly और हम क्या बोलते हैं इसे anisole. Anisole. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
See the third example. Third example. So you can see this is your linkage. Okay, this is the oxygen linkage, which is ether linkage. You can say this is one molecule. Okay, this is a one substituent, you can say, benzene ring, and this is your CH2 benzene. This is your CH2, and after that there is a benzene ring. Okay, so if see if only benzene is there, so we call it as a phenyl ring. जब हम इसे as a substituent लेते हैं, we call it as a phenyl ring. But if benzene के साथ, if benzene is attached to CH2 group, okay, and इससे कोई attachment है any group, like here the oxygen is attached to the CH2 group. Okay, as I told you, when oxygen or any hydroxyl group is attached first to sp3 hybridized carbon, and that sp3 hybridized carbon is attached to benzene ring. So this type of system is known as benzylic system. Benzylic system, right? So we called it as benzyl. इसे हम क्या कहेंगे? Benzyl. When we take this group as a substituent, we call it as a benzyl, right? So now we can write the common name for this molecule. What will be the common name? So obviously benzyl. Okay, जो smallest number है, smallest जो, yeah, you can say if it is younger. Suppose this is a younger brother and this is an elder brother, right? Because it has a more number of carbon. This is more bulkier because in benzene ring, the CH2 is again attached. But here only benzene ring is there, right? So you just take it as a younger and this is the elder. Okay? अगर आपको ऐसे नहीं याद रहता तो ऐसे याद कर सकते हो younger elder करके. So you will take this benzyl as a substituent. After that, you will write down this. Just a second. First, you will write down the benzyl, then phenyl, then ether. Benzyl, phenyl, and ether. Here,
Yes, ma'am.
and how to write down the IUPAC name? IUPAC name is very simple. So it's a, अब this is your phenyl ring, right? This is your phenyl. Phenyl के साथ ये oxygen attached है, and you will take this as a parent chain. Okay, this CH2 and benzene you will take as a parent chain, and to the parent chain this substituent is attached. Okay, this is your aryloxy. Aryl group plus oxygen linkage. This is known as aryloxy. So this is a phenyl group, so phenoxy. Okay, phenoxy, and this is methyl benzene. Phenoxy, methyl benzene. That's the IUPAC name of this compound. Clear to everyone? Okay, please write it down. Yes, sir. Aisha, Aisha Salim, you have a
Yes.
doubt? You
Yes.
just, yeah, you just asked me why it is known as phenyl ring. Why it is not, no, why it is not called that as
Benzene.
benzene. See,
Yes.
so because here, see here, this is acting as a substituent, not the parent chain. So when you write
Okay.
down the name nomenclature, if any benzene ring act as a substituent, so we just write it down as a phenyl ring. Okay, so हम इसे क्या कहेंगे?
Okay.
Phenyl, not the benzene. Benzene you will
Okay.
write when it is acting like a parent chain, parent molecule.
Okay.
And why it is benzyl? Benzyl, as I told you, benzyl means, as I told you in the monohydric classification, जैसे मैंने पढ़ाया था, just a second. Yeah, so see here, what is benzylic alcohol? Benzylic alcohol is when the hydroxyl group is attached to sp3 hybridized carbon, and this sp3 hybridized carbon is attached to the benzene ring. Okay, so similar to the ether also. When the ether, when this oxygen linkage is attached to the carbon, which is sp3 hybridized carbon, and then it is further attached to the benzene ring, okay, which is sp2 hybridized carbon. Okay, so this type of arrangement, this type of molecule is known as benzylic ether or benzylic alcohol. Okay, so ये यहाँ पे ether के साथ linkage है, so we call it as a benzyl. We call it as a benzyl group. Benzene with the CH2 group is known as benzyl. Okay,
Done.
okay. Okay, next is write down the heading nomenclature of alcohol, phenols, and ethers. Individually, we will understand how to name the alcohol, phenols, and ethers. The first one is your alcohol. Alcohol. Okay, so how to write down the common name for alcohol? So alcohol में क्या करते हैं? We just write down the alcohol. First, alkyl and alcohol. In this sequence, we just write down the alcohol name. Suppose we have any alcohol, so CH3, CH2, OH. So what will be the common name? How you will write down the common name? So you will write down what is alkyl group. Alkyl is one. This is your alkyl group, right? So how many carbon chain it is? So it's a two carbon chain. It means it's ethyl. Okay, so you will write ethyl alcohol. What is this? The common name of this is ethyl alcohol. So common name में क्या लिखते हो? First alkyl group को represent करते हैं. After that you will add the word alcohol. Okay. But in the IUPAC name, you have to write down the suffix as ol. Only ol. You will not write down the whole name, which is alcohol. आप पूरा alcohol नहीं लिखोगे. You just write down the ol. Okay. Ol means alcohol. Okay. So you just use the word suffix, which is ol. Okay, and the structure of the naming will be this. See the structure. First, prefix plus parent chain plus primary suffix, then the secondary suffix. Okay. Now, prefix क्या लगाते हो? Prefix is basically the substituent which is present in the chain. The substituent which is present in the chain, so you will write in the first position. Okay. After that, parent chain. Okay, you will write down the parent chain name, which is the, what is parent chain? So parent chain you will, is the largest chain, largest number of carbon chain. Okay, that's the parent chain. After parent chain, जब आपने parent chain का भी लिख लिया name, after that you have to write down the primary suffix. If, what is the nature of the bond, whether it's a whether the bond between the carbon and carbon is only single bond or double bond or triple bond. Okay, so you have to show, you have to write down the suffix to show the nature of the bond. Okay, and you know very well what is, if there is a carbon carbon double bond, so you will write alkane. Okay, ane. Okay, this is alkene, so you will write ane, ane suffix as a primary. If the carbon, between the carbon and carbon there is a double bond, so this is a alkene. Okay, and alkene के लिए आप suffix क्या use करते हो? So you just use ene. Okay, and if there is a carbon carbon triple bond, so you just use the suffix as ine. Okay, which shows that the, in between the carbon and carbon there is a triple bond which is present in the carbon chain. Okay, and you have to locate also, कहाँ पे present है chain में, you have to write down the number also. Okay, and those numbers are known as locants. Okay, those numbers are known as locants. So you have to write down the, before the name, before writing the name, you just have to write down the number of that substitution or that the nature of bond कहाँ पे present है पूरे parent chain. Okay, after that, after you have written the primary suffix, the last suffix or the secondary suffix you will write over. Okay, which represent that it is the alcohol. The whole molecule or compound is an alcohol. Clear? So that's the structure. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
One more thing, note down. If only one hydroxyl group is present, only, just remember, अगर सिर्फ one hydroxyl group present, that means if the alcohol is monohydrate, okay, then E of alkane is removed and directly you will write all. Directly you will write all. Okay, suppose it is CH3OH. Okay, so what is the substituent? What is the parent chain? So this is again, अभी कोई substitution नहीं, it's a very simple molecule. So it's methane. Okay, so you will write methane plus ol, right? Methane and ol, but only one hydroxyl group is there. Okay, so if only one hydroxyl group is present, so just omit this E. आपको E जो है इसे omit कर देना है, इसे just remove कर देना and just add, just write down methanol. Okay, आपको ane, which is alkane, it shows the ane alkane word, which is the primary suffix, right? So you have to omit this E letter and just add the O word. Okay, so if only one hydroxyl group is present, but if in the polyhydric alcohol more than one hydroxyl group is present, then you don't have to remove this E word from the alkane, from the ane suffix. Okay, आपको उसके साथ ही लिखना है. Suppose we have two hydroxyl group, CH3 over here and CH3, this is OH and OH. Okay, so what will be the name? Can anyone tell me the name of this? Yes, tell me. IUPAC name. Yeah, it's very simple. See, this is a parent chain, 1, 2 carbon chain. Okay, so you will write ethane. Okay, you will write whole ethane. ane में आपने E remove नहीं करना है because there are two hydroxyl group, right? Two hydroxyl group is present, so you will not omit the letter E from the alkane word, from the ane word. So ethane, okay, ethane dash 1, 2 diol, diol, 1, 2 diol. Is it clear? Now you can write down the IUPAC name accordingly. Yeah. See, these are the questions. Compound, you have to write down the common name and IUPAC name both. Okay, quickly do that. Let's start from this first one, CH3OH. CH3OH. What will be the common name? So I think I have discussed it. It's methyl alcohol. And what is the IUPAC name? So it's methanol. Methanol, because only one alcohol is present, hydroxyl group is present, so you will omit the letter E. Okay, and you will write directly methanol. Okay, do the rest of these questions. I will ask you.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, what should we do?
yes, Jupiter. First one,
Ma'am,
common.
no, ma'am, what should we do? Should we write the name?
Yeah, you just write. You have to write down the common name as well as the IUPAC name.
Okay.
Yes, first one. Yes, Safrina, tell me the common name of this structure.
Propanol.
Propanol. Common name, बच्चे, common name. Propanol will be the IUPAC name. Propanol, or you will write propane 1-ol. Okay, or directly आप लिख सकते हो propanol. Yes, Safrina, common name. Use the general form, which is alkyl alcohol. Alkyl alcohol.
Isopropyl.
Isopropyl. See, it's a straight chain. It's a straight chain. Right? One, two, three. Three carbon chain it is. So it's a propyl alcohol. Okay, so you can write it's a normal structure, normal straight chain. So now N propyl alcohol. Yes, Jupiter, this one.
Isopropyl alcohol, propan 2-ol.
Yeah. Isopropyl alcohol. Yes, good. It is propane,
Propan
propane
2-ol.
2-ol. Yeah, good. One, two, three. Okay, second position, there is a hydroxyl group. Next, Muniba, tell me the third one.
Secondary butyl alcohol.
Okay, the secondary good. Sec. Okay, so secondary के लिए we just use sec word. Sec
Yeah.
butyl alcohol. And what's the IUPAC name?
Butane to all.
Yes, very good. It's butane 2O. Yes, Aisha, next one. Both one common name and IUPAC name. Yes.
Ma'am, I don't know. I do not do that one.
Okay, see, it's 1, 2, 3, right? So this is your iso type of a structure, right? So it's again iso, isobutyl, isobutyl alcohol. Okay, this is a iso butyl alcohol. Now try to write down the IUPAC name. Use a structure formula. Okay, see, it's very easy. First, try to find the longest chain. Longest chain will be your parent chain. Okay, first step always should be the to find the parent chain. Parent chain कौन सा होगा? The longest carbon chain. So it's 1, 2, 3. This is the parent chain. Now on the parent chain, there is a substitution on the second position. Okay, so first आप क्या लिखते हो? Substitution prefix. Okay, so this is what is this? This is CH3. This is methyl group, which is attached to the second position. So how you will write down? You will write 2 methyl. Yeah. Now try to write down the parent chain.
One
Yes.
only.
Yeah, it's propane, 1O. Okay, you have to write down the hydroxyl group location where it is present. So it's 1O. Okay, so that's the IUPAC name. Next, Anisa.
Yes, ma'am. Common name tertiary butyl alcohol,
Yeah, very good.
and
All,
the IUPAC name would be 2-methyl propan 2-ol.
yeah, very good. It's correct. Okay, so it's a tertiary structure, right? This tertiary structure. And what is the IUPAC name? So IUPAC name is it's 1, 2, right? Yeah. So 2-methyl.
2-methyl propan 2-ol.
Yes, very good. You will take this as a parent chain. Okay, 1,
Yes,
2, 3. 2-methyl propane 2. Okay. Next, again, Safrina. I think we have discussed these two structure. So tell me the common name as well as IUPAC name.
Glycine.
Yeah. Which type of glycol? What is this? This is your ethyl, right? So you will write ethylene glycol. The common name is ethylene glycol or only glycol भी हम कहते हैं. And what's the IUPAC name? You will take this as a parent chain. So first and second, on the first and second, on both the position, on both the carbon, there is a hydroxyl group. Right? So you will write down the parent, ethane, right? And there are two hydroxyl group, right? So as I told you, if there is only hydroxyl group, so you will omit the word E from the N, right? From the N, and you will just add the old word. But here two hydroxyl group is attached, right? So you will not omit the word, or you omit the letter E from the N, right? So it's ethane. तो आप एन में ई भी लिखोगे, right? Because two hydroxyl group is there. And after that, you will write down the position, okay, of this hydroxyl group. So 1, 2 diol. Okay, so that's the name. Yes, Jupiter, this one. What is the common name?
Glycerol.
Yeah, it's glycerol. Glycerol. Yes, Aisha, tell me the IUPAC name. Try to write down the IUPAC name. It's very easy.
Um, 1, 2, 3, propanol.
First, you will write down the parent. Okay, so parent
Prop,
is
propane,
yes,
1, 2, 3, all.
propane, 1 comma on. See, this is first, second, and third carbon. तो आप carbon को position देते हो. So you will write 1 comma 2 comma 3. There are 3 hydroxyl groups. So for 3, what you will write? Tri.
Tri,
We'll use tri word. Tri, and for hydroxyl group, we just write O. Triol. Propane 1, 2, 3, triol.
okay.
Okay. The next one, let's see how to write down the IUPAC name of this cyclic alcohol. If there is a cyclic structure, cyclic alcohol, so how we can write down the IUPAC information? Okay, so if there is a cyclic type of a structure, okay, so you will use the prefix cyclo. Prefix आपने use करना है क्या? Cyclo. Prefix. Okay, and consider the carbon to which the hydroxyl group is attached as a carbon 1. First carbon. First carbon आपने किसे consider करना है? To which the hydroxyl group is attached. The hydroxyl group is attached to this carbon, so you will write first. Okay, you will number this carbon as a 1. Okay, so this is the first carbon. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Right. So this is your cyclo. First, you will write for cyclic structure. आप क्या use करते हो? Prefix cyclo. Right. And how many carbons are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 carbon. For 6 carbon, we just use hex word. Okay, we use hex word. Hexane. Okay, because ane क्यों use करते हैं? For the single bonded. Okay, for the alkane. So we just use ane, hexane, and only one hydroxyl group is there. So we just omit E letter from the ane. Okay, आप omit कर दोगे and you will write O. Cyclohexane. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Similarly, second one. See how this 2-methyl cyclopentanol. How ये name कैसे आया? So see, this is a hydroxyl group. Okay, so as I told you, start the numbering from where? From that carbon to which the hydroxyl group is attached. So this is a carbon to which the hydroxyl group is attached, the first carbon, right? And you have to, okay, so in which direction you will move? To here, on the to the right side or the left side? Obviously the right side, because here the substitution is there. Methyl group is attached. Okay, this is the second position, third position, fourth and fifth position, right? So now you will first write down the substitution. Okay, substitution को आप as a prefix लोगे. So second पे there is a methyl group, 2-methyl, and it's a cyclic structure, right? So for the cyclic structure, you will write down the prefix cyclo word. Okay, and how many carbons are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 carbon is present. So you will write pentanol. Okay, you can also write pentane 1-ol or pentanol भी आप लिख सकते, because it's known that you have started the numbering from that carbon where the hydroxyl group is attached. Clear, everyone? Okay, so that's all for today. I have another class too. Okay, we will in the next class we will discuss the nomenclature of phenols, your ethers, and the methods of preparation of alcohols as well.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, Jovita?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Okay, so thank you so much for joining the class.
Thanks, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.